What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers. Join me here today to answer the question of will Jayden Daniels live up to his potential? Help me out is a very talented writer over at firstroundmock.com. Now helping us out here at 100 Yards Football, Mr. William Yanish III. How you doing this afternoon, man?
I'm doing great, Logan. How about yourself, man?
Doing well, can't complain one bit. Excited to talk about former Heisman winner and how he could potentially turn Washington around and get them on back and track, much like our guy Daniel Kelly would love. So we'll see. We'll break it down here in just a sec. But guys, if you enjoyed the episode, once again, you know the drill. Like, follow, share, and subscribe, Facebook and YouTube. Main two hubs over there, but we also have a podcast as well on all major podcast streaming platforms. That comes out every single week. Let's do it while you're cooking some dinner, while you're at the gym, or while you're just lounging around the house. We've got thousands, literally thousands of episodes that you can go through and listen through, see if we got draft prospects right years ago, see if we predicted the big games, if we got that right. We got a ton of content over there. So we appreciate all of you for the continued support. So, William, pretty simple, man. It's a pretty simple question. Will Jayden Daniels, will he live up to that hype in year one? How's he going to do?
Well, if he doesn't end up, in an ambulance or something because of his frame, when I did Jayden Daniels evaluation, there literally is so much to like. The way he moves, the way he throws. He's got an arm, and he mobile, like I said, tall, lean quarterback. He has on short, quick passes, his release is a whole lot quicker. That was one thing that I noticed. He has a little bit more of a loop or a wind up when he goes to release deep. But the Washington Redskins at number 2, I feel they had everything. Wasn't very hot on Caleb Williams, and Jayden Daniels here was a pick that it came up. Like I said, when I looked over his final evaluation from last year, it was about halfway through the season, about October or so, and I had him winning the Heisman. And he went, did all these things. Like I said, there was so much to like. But when Cam Newton came out in 2011, people were talking about how long his career would be because of the way he ran and the physicalness of him. Well, Cam Newton, had an inch or two on Jayden Daniels here, and also about 40 pounds, and much bigger frame. That's not just weight. I've talked about this in groups and stuff, and people were like, oh, well, he can put on weight. And it's like, no, it's like his frame, his bone structure is just not what it should be. And when Cam Newton was taking was going, and getting that physical, plowing into people and such, he was getting first downs and he was getting touchdowns. What I see with Jayden Daniels is he jumps up, tries to put a shoulder into somebody, and ends up on the ground.
To me, he kind of resembles the play of Anthony Richardson we saw, who got beat up and only played in 4 games last year.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson, well, he also had an injury history as well that I wasn't aware of until after I did the evaluation on him. And that was one thing. Jayden Daniels, he stays in the pocket too long. His snap to release, stat or time is like 2.91 seconds, and that's a ton, man. You want that, just over 2 seconds maybe, but closer to 3. He needs to. What Cliff Kingsbury needs to do with him is, tell him duck, and tell him, don't do these things. It's like you can run around, do your thing. He's an excellent scrambler, but like I said, the physicalness of it, I don't see it working in the NFL because everybody is big, fast, and strong, and he's going to, get teed off on by some of these veterans, welcoming him to the NFL. The other thing to look at, and I really don't like saying it, is some of these teams, like with Ohio State quarterbacks. No matter what regime is in, people still say, "Oh well, they uh, never had a good one and such and everything else." Well, Ohio State, they finally had Stroud, but the Washington Redskins, they've had I don't know how many different starting quarterbacks. There's a picture running around Facebook, since 2000, and it is insane. And I'm not sure. It's completely different regime, everything else, but the stigma is there maybe, so maybe there'll be the pressure or the expectations, those kinds of things. If at two, I had Drake May higher than and he ended up going to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
if put it this way, if Jayden Daniels can stay healthy and learn to, get that ball out quicker, it's like, live to play another down. Just get the ball out. If they catch it, if not, then just play another down. And go ahead, man.
No, yeah, and I think that definitely got to take care of your body. Um, and for me, I'm zoning in because this Washington O line got Sam Howell killed last year. My
Yeah,
God, he was sacked 60 plus times,
yeah,
which is unheard of. So for the line, Brandon Coleman, Chris Paul, Tyler Beyonce, Sam Cosme, Andrew Wiley, all of y'all, get it together. If you want your quarterback to help the team, you got to block for him. You got to give him time to breathe and help
yeah.
out.
Get a tight end or a running back in there to chip on somebody.
Yeah,
Just
just
something.
help out.
He's
Something.
got, yeah, he's got the receivers. Terry McLaurin doesn't need a quarterback. He always gets 1,000 yards.
Yeah, right. About to say it. I'm not worried about that. I think that I think Terry will be fine. I think the addition of Austin Eckler is a nice pickup that they need to take some pressure off of Jayden. Um, I mean, honestly, it's when you look at this team, it's Terry McLaurin obviously is going to be your top receiver. Zach Ertz is a little bit down. He's older. He's mid-30s now, and his production isn't nearly what it was back when he was in Philly. It's definitely declined. So I mean, when I'm looking at this team, man, it's a lot of unproven commodities for the most part. I'm expecting a heavy dose of Eckler and Robinson Jr. You mentioned McLaurin; he's going to be a big help. But I mean, Jahan Dotson, someone who is got some potential left still. It's a guy who, when I look at him, obviously, he was a first round draft pick from this team just 2 years ago, but when you look at his stats recently, nothing's really been eye popping. I don't know if that has to do with his play or with his quarterback's play the last couple of years. I think this is a deciding year for him, especially because we know his rookie contract's coming up here in just a little while. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I don't know if Jayden will live up to his potential year one. I don't know if he could pull out a rookie of the year type of season with the pieces around him. But like I said earlier in my statement, if this O line does not block for this guy, this team will not succeed. That's my final statement on that.
Exactly. One other thing you need to look at is all of this stuff going on with Brandon Ayuk and San Francisco and the
Mm-hmm.
connections to Jayden Daniels. Apparently they were talking about a trade, before the draft, and that is one thing to where he is becoming more of a diva than whatever. But if he comes in here and he's across from McLaurin,
Could be.
and Dotson, just happened to be a number three or whatever. They have a couple really good running backs, Austin Eckler, but still, he just hit 30. And Brian Robinson Jr. I mean, he's a good back. He took
He's
he
solid,
took
yeah.
it from Antonio Gibson. Gibson's in
He
in
did. Yeah, he
New
did.
England.
And he's done good. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think that for Jayden, like I said, he doesn't have to do it all. He doesn't have to be the guy who gets it done every single play. You have pieces around you can work with in the NFL who can help you out, especially early on in the early season. I would rely on Eckler and McLaurin, especially, to help you out. And like you mentioned with Brian Robinson, who's a talented back, those are the guys you need to go to heavy to help get you out of situations and to really just start getting you on track and beginning your career in the NFL. So I think that Jayden Daniels will have a good year. I do think he'll be successful come year one, thus living up to his potential. But I don't know if I'll go rookie of the year off the bat, off rip right now, just because I don't know if the pieces around him can elevate him to that level. What are your final
Um,
thoughts, William?
the one thing is he has Cliff Kingsbury for an offensive coordinator, and I feel that he will put Daniels in good positions. Now, if Daniels succeeds or not, I feel that that might be, well, it's up to the line and maybe how much, you know, Kingsbury has an effect on what is going on. They have the pieces there and everything else, but it's kind of like the Jets, not having an offensive line. You can't, you're going to get your quarterback killed. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, man, and we'll see what Jayden can do and how he can help Washington out. It's going to be interesting though, man. It's going to be a good season. But William, I
Very much.
appreciate you coming on, man, talking about Jayden Daniels, how he's going to do year one, and it's going to be fun to watch, man. No doubt about that. So appreciate you coming on, and guys, we thank y'all for tuning in every single week, Facebook and YouTube, also on our podcast. Till next time, we'll talk to you again on another.